She brought a fake date to Christmas, but her ex was the plot twist in their story. The snow fell softly over the small mountain town of Pine Ridge as Maya Sterling checked her reflection in the rearview mirror one last time. Her dark curls were perfectly styled, her makeup flawless, but her hands trembled slightly as she gripped the steering wheel. Beside her, sitting in the passenger seat with an amused smile, was Jordan Wells, a complete stranger she'd hired 3 days ago. "You okay?" Jordan asked, adjusting the collar of her burgundy sweater. She was attractive in an effortless way, with short blonde hair and kind gray eyes that seemed to notice everything. Maya took a deep breath. "I'm about to introduce a fake girlfriend to my entire family at Christmas dinner. So no, not really okay." Jordan chuckled. "Hey, you hired the best. I've done this before. Weddings, mostly. But Christmas with the family? This'll be interesting. I just need to get through tonight without my mom giving me that look," Maya said, her voice tight. That pitying look that says, poor Maya, still alone after the breakup. The breakup. Even 6 months later, the words tasted bitter. She and Victoria Chin had been together for 4 years. Everyone thought they were perfect together, the successful architect and the passionate artist. They talked about marriage, about buying a house, about forever. Until Victoria decided that forever wasn't what she wanted after all. "Tell me about your family again," Jordan said as they pulled up to the sprawling cabin that belonged to Maya's parents. "Mom's a bit overbearing, but means well. Dad's quiet, loves hockey. My brother Kyle is bringing his new fiancé, which is why Mom's been on my case about bringing someone. My Aunt Linda will ask inappropriate questions. And..." Maya stopped mid-sentence, her heart dropping into her stomach. There, parked in front of the cabin, was a familiar silver Tesla. "No," Maya whispered. "No, no, no." "What's wrong?" "That's Victoria's car. My ex." "What is she doing here?" Jordan's eyebrows rose. "The ex you've been avoiding for 6 months? That ex." Maya's phone buzzed. A text from her mother. "Surprise. Victoria is joining us for Christmas. She's been so lonely, and I thought it would be nice. Hope you don't mind." "I mind." Maya wanted to scream. Instead, she dropped her phone in her lap and stared at the cabin with growing dread. "I can't do this. We should leave." "Hey." Jordan's voice was surprisingly gentle. She reached over and touched Maya's arm. "You've already paid me for the whole evening. And honestly, this just got a lot more interesting. Let's go in there and show your ex exactly what she's missing." Maya looked at Jordan, this stranger who was supposed to help her save face, and saw something unexpected in those gray eyes. Confidence. Maybe even genuine kindness. "Okay," Maya said finally. "Let's do this." The moment they walked through the door, Maya's mother swooped in like a festive tornado, all red cashmere and expensive perfume. "Maya, darling, and you must be, oh my." Her mother's eyes went wide as she took in Jordan. "You didn't mention how lovely your friend was." "Girlfriend, Mom," Maya said firmly, feeling Jordan slip an arm around her waist. The touch was warm, reassuring, and entirely for show. "This is Jordan." "Jordan, my mother, Patricia." "It's wonderful to meet you, Mrs. Sterling," Jordan said with a charming smile, extending her hand. "Maya's told me so much about you." Before Patricia could respond, a voice cut through the chatter of the gathering. "Maya." Victoria stood in the archway to the living room, and Maya's breath caught. Victoria looked exactly the same, glossy black hair, elegant in a cream-colored dress, those dark eyes that had once looked at Maya like she was the only person in the world. Now they were wide with surprise, focused entirely on Jordan's arm around Maya's waist. "Victoria," Maya said, her voice coming out steadier than she felt. "I didn't know you'd be here. Your mother invited me." Victoria's gaze flickered between Maya and Jordan. "I didn't know you were seeing anyone." "Life moves on," Maya said, and she felt Jordan squeeze her waist gently, a silent message of support. The awkward moment was broken by Kyle, Maya's brother, calling everyone to dinner. As they moved toward the dining room, Jordan leaned in close, her breath warm against Maya's ear. You're doing great, she whispered. But heads up, your ex hasn't stopped staring at you since we walked in. Maya risked a glance back. Victoria was indeed watching them, her expression unreadable. This was going to be a very long night. Dinner was an exercise in tension disguised as holiday cheer. Maya found herself seated directly across from Victoria, with Jordan beside her, playing the role of attentive girlfriend with surprising skill. "So, Jordan," Aunt Linda said, her voice carrying that tone of intrusive curiosity Maya had warned about. "How did you and Maya meet?" Jordan didn't miss a beat. "At an art gallery downtown. I was there with friends, and Maya was exhibiting some of her work. I saw her standing by her paintings, and I just had to talk to her. It was a good story. Believable. Maya had actually exhibited at that gallery 3 months ago. And you just hit it off?" Patricia asked, delighted. "Not exactly," Jordan said with a laugh, glancing at Maya with what looked like genuine affection. "She turned me down the first time I asked her out. Said she wasn't ready. But I'm persistent." Maya felt her cheeks warm. Jordan was good. Really good. "That's so romantic," Kyle's fiancé sighed. Across the table, Victoria's jaw was tight. She pushed her food around her plate, barely eating. "What about you, Victoria?" Jordan asked suddenly, her tone friendly, but with an edge Maya couldn't quite identify. "What have you been up to?" Victoria looked up, seeming caught off guard. "Work, mostly. I've been promoted to senior architect at my firm, leading some major projects." "That's wonderful," Patricia gushed. "We're so proud of you, dear." Maya felt a familiar sting. Her mother had always loved Victoria, had been devastated when they broke up. It was part of why this Christmas had felt so unbearable, the constant reminders of what she'd lost. "And no special someone in your life?" Aunt Linda asked Victoria, without a shred of subtlety. Victoria's eyes met Maya's across the table.
"No.
No one special." The weight of those words hung in the air. "Dating is hard," Jordan said casually, her hand finding Maya's under the table. "When you've been hurt, it takes a while to trust again. Maya was so hesitant when we first started talking. But I'm glad she took a chance on me." Maya squeezed Jordan's hand, grateful for the lifeline. But when she looked at Victoria, she saw something unexpected in her ex's expression.
Pain.
Raw and undisguised. After dinner, while the family gathered in the living room for presents, Maya escaped to the kitchen under the guise of helping with dishes. She needed a moment to breathe, to process the surreal evening. She was elbow-deep in soapy water when Victoria appeared in the doorway. "Need help?" Victoria asked quietly. Maya's hands stilled.
"Sure."
They worked in silence for a moment, Victoria drying dishes as Maya washed them. It was familiar, almost painfully so. They'd done dishes together countless times in their old apartment. "She seems nice," Victoria said finally. "Jordan." "She is." "How long have you been together?" Maya hesitated. The lie was right there, easy to tell. But something in Victoria's voice, something vulnerable, made her pause. "Why are you here, Victoria?" Maya asked instead, avoiding the question. "Why did you say yes to my mother's invitation?" Victoria set down the dish towel and turned to face her. "Because I made a mistake, Maya. The biggest mistake of my life." Maya's heart began to pound. "Don't. I have to say this. I've been trying to say it for months, but you blocked my number, wouldn't respond to my emails. I thought tonight might be my chance, and then you walked in with her and—" Victoria's voice cracked. "I still love you. I never stopped." The words Maya had once desperately wanted to hear. But now, standing in her mother's kitchen 6 months and a lifetime of hurt later, they felt complicated. "You ended things," Maya said, her voice shaking. "You said you needed space, that you weren't sure about us anymore. You broke my heart, Victoria." "I know. I was scared. We were talking about marriage and forever, and I panicked. I thought maybe I was too young, that I hadn't experienced enough. But all I've experienced without you is how empty everything feels." Tears were streaming down Victoria's face now. "I've been miserable, Maya. Absolutely miserable. And I know I don't deserve another chance, but please. Everything okay in here?" Jordan stood in the doorway, reading the room with those sharp gray eyes. Victoria wiped at her tears quickly. I should go.
I'm sorry.
I shouldn't have said anything. She brushed past Jordan and disappeared down the hallway. Maya stood frozen at the sink, her hands still dripping with soapy water, her world tilting on its axis. Jordan walked over and gently took the dish from her hands. Want to talk about it? She said she still loves me, Maya whispered. She wants me back. And how do you feel about that? Maya looked up at this woman she'd hired to pretend to care about her. I don't know. I spent 6 months trying to get over her. I was finally starting to feel okay, and now it's complicated, Jordan finished. She smiled, but it was sad around the edges. Love usually is. I'm sorry. This isn't what you signed up for. Jordan shrugged. Actually, this is exactly the kind of drama I live for. But seriously, Maya, what do you want? Not what your mom wants. Not what your family thinks you should do. What does your heart want? Before Maya could answer, Patricia appeared in the doorway. There you two are. We're about to open presents. Come on. The present exchange was a blur. Maya sat between Jordan and her brother, acutely aware of Victoria sitting across the room, looking small and sad in the armchair by the fireplace. When it was Victoria's turn to give gifts, she handed out beautifully wrapped packages to each family member. When she got to Maya, she hesitated. I wasn't sure if I should, but I got you something. Before I knew about Jordan. I can return it if. It's fine, Maya said, taking the small box. Her hands shook slightly as she unwrapped it. Inside was a delicate silver bracelet. Maya's breath caught. It was from the jewelry shop they'd visited on their first trip together to Seattle. She'd fallen in love with this bracelet but couldn't afford it at the time. Victoria had apparently remembered. Victoria, Maya breathed. I saw it last month and thought of you, Victoria said softly. I'm always thinking of you. The room had gone quiet. Everyone was watching this painful, intimate moment unfold. Jordan stood suddenly. Mrs. Sterling, could I speak with you in the kitchen? I need to discuss something important. Patricia looked confused but followed. Kyle jumped up too, herding his fiancée and Aunt Linda out with mumbled excuses about needing more wine. Suddenly, Maya and Victoria were alone in the living room, the Christmas tree lights casting soft shadows across their faces. You kept it, Victoria said, gesturing to Maya's neck. Maya's hand went to the small pendant she wore, a tiny paintbrush that Victoria had given her on their first anniversary. I couldn't take it off. I wear your ring, Victoria said, pulling a chain from beneath her dress. There, hanging against her heart, was the promise ring Maya had given her on their 3rd anniversary. Every day. This isn't fair, Maya said, tears threatening. You can't just show up and tell me you love me and expect. I don't expect anything, Victoria interrupted, moving to kneel in front of Maya's chair. I just needed you to know. Even if you're happy with Jordan, even if I'm too late, I needed you to know that leaving you was the worst decision I ever made, and I would do anything, to have another chance. Maya looked down at this woman she'd loved for 4 years, this woman who'd broken her heart, who was now looking at her with such desperate hope. I don't know if I can trust you again, Maya whispered. You destroyed me, Victoria. I know. And I'll spend the rest of my life making it up to you, if you'll let me. I'll go to therapy. I'll work on my commitment issues. I'll prove to you every single day that I'm not going to run away again. Victoria took Maya's hands in hers. I'm not asking you to decide right now. I'm just asking you not to close the door completely. Maya's mind was spinning. 6 months ago, she would have taken Victoria back in a heartbeat. But she'd grown in these months. She'd learned to be alone. She'd started to heal. And then there was Jordan, fake girlfriend Jordan, who'd somehow become more real than Maya had expected, who'd been kind and supportive and, I need air, Maya said, standing abruptly. She grabbed her coat and escaped out the back door onto the deck. The cold hit her immediately, but she welcomed it. The clarity of it. She stood at the railing, looking out at the snow-covered pines, trying to make sense of her heart. The door opened behind her, and Jordan stepped out. Shouldn't you be avoiding me? Maya asked. This whole situation is so awkward. Probably, Jordan agreed, coming to stand beside her. But I figured you needed someone who's actually on your side. Are you?
On my side.
Jordan was quiet for a moment. Can I tell you something? I wasn't supposed to. Professional fake girlfriend code and all. But screw it. Maya turned to look at her, surprised. I've done this job maybe 10 times, Jordan said. Weddings, company parties, family dinners. And it's always been exactly what it is, a job. But tonight, sitting at that table, listening to your family talk about you, hearing the way you laugh when you forget to be nervous. I kept forgetting I was supposed to be pretending. Maya's heart skipped. Jordan. I know. Terrible timing. You got your ex in there pouring her heart out, and I'm some stranger you hired off the internet. But I wanted you to know that when I told your family I thought you were amazing, that wasn't fake. When I held your hand and said I was glad you took a chance on me, I meant it. This is insane, Maya breathed. This whole night is insane. Completely, Jordan agreed with a laugh. But here's what I think. I think you loved Victoria. Maybe you still do. And that's something you need to figure out. But I also think you're scared that if you don't take her back now, you'll regret it forever. So let me ask you this. When you imagine your life a year from now, is she in it? Really, truly in it? Or are you just holding on to the past? Maya closed her eyes. She thought about the life she and Victoria had planned. The house, the marriage, the future that had seemed so certain. But then she thought about the last 6 months. The pain, the growth, the way she'd learned to be whole on her own. The way she'd started painting again, really painting, not just going through the motions. The way she'd rebuilt herself piece by piece. And she thought about Jordan, a stranger who'd made her laugh when she forgot to be broken, who'd held her hand like it mattered, who'd looked at her like she was seeing something worth seeing. I don't know what I want, Maya admitted. Isn't that terrible? I have 2 women inside who want to be with me, and I'm standing out here in the freezing cold because I can't figure out my own heart. That's not terrible. That's human. Jordan shivered in her thin sweater. But maybe we should figure it out inside? Before we both get frostbite. Maya laughed despite everything.
Yeah, okay.
They walked back inside to find the family had diplomatically retreated to various parts of the house. But Victoria was waiting in the living room, her coat on, clearly preparing to leave. I'm going to go, Victoria said when she saw them. This was a mistake. I shouldn't have ambushed you like this on Christmas. Wait, Maya heard herself say. Victoria paused, hope flickering in her eyes. Maya looked at Jordan, who gave her a small nod. You've got this. Victoria, I need time.
What you did hurt me so badly.
And I've worked so hard to heal from it. I can't just jump back into what we had. I understand, Victoria said, her voice thick with tears. I do. But, Maya continued, her heart pounding, I can't deny that there's still something there. So I'm not saying no. I'm saying, let's take it slow.
Coffee. Talking.
No promises, no expectations. And you need to understand that I might decide I can't do this. That I've moved on. Yes, Victoria said immediately. Yes, absolutely. Anything you want.
Coffee. Talking.
I'll wait as long as it takes. Maya nodded, feeling the weight of the decision settle over her. Victoria moved toward the door, then stopped. She turned back, looking at Jordan. Thank you. For taking care of her. For making her smile. I can see you care about her, and that means everything to me. Jordan looked surprised but nodded. She deserves someone who cares. After Victoria left, the house seemed to exhale. The family gradually emerged, and the rest of the evening proceeded with careful normalcy. Presents were opened, cookies were eaten, Christmas carols played on the stereo. As midnight approached and the evening wound down, Jordan and Maya found themselves back by the Christmas tree, away from the others. So, Jordan said, that was eventful. That's one word for it, Maya laughed. I'm sorry for dragging you into this mess. Are you kidding? This was the most interesting Christmas I've had in years. Jordan paused, then added quietly, and I meant what I said outside. About you being amazing. Maya felt her heart squeeze. I know you did. And Jordan, what you said about taking chances. About not knowing if it's the right thing? That resonated. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was thinking maybe after I figure things out with Victoria, or don't figure things out, maybe we could get coffee sometime? Real coffee. Not fake girlfriend coffee. Jordan's face lit up with a smile that made Maya's stomach flip. I'd really like that. It might be complicated, Maya warned. The best things usually are, Jordan replied. As Maya drove home later that night, alone, since Jordan had her own car, she thought about the strange, chaotic, impossible evening. She'd gone to Christmas dinner with a fake girlfriend to avoid being pitted by her family. She'd ended up face-to-face with her ex who wanted her back. And she discovered that the stranger she'd hired had somehow become someone who mattered. Her phone buzzed with a text from Victoria. Thank you for not closing the door. I promise I'll prove myself to you. Then another, from Jordan. Thanks for a memorable Christmas. And hey, whatever you decide, I hope you choose what makes you happy, not what makes anyone else happy. Maya smiled at her phone, feeling like she was standing at a crossroads. One path led back to a familiar past, to a love that had been real and deep, but had also caused profound pain. The other led to an uncertain future with someone new, someone who'd entered her life in the most unconventional way. She didn't know which path she'd choose. Maybe she wouldn't choose either. Maybe she needed to keep walking her own path for a while longer, to be sure of who she was before she shared her life with anyone else. But for the first time in 6 months, Maya felt something she hadn't felt since the breakup. Hope. Hope that whatever happened next, she would be okay. That she was strong enough to handle whatever her heart decided. That she deserved love, whether that was the second chance kind or the brand new kind or the self-love kind that had gotten her through the darkest months. She looked at the Christmas lights twinkling on the houses she passed, thought about Victoria's promise ring hanging against her heart, thought about Jordan's gray eyes and genuine smile, and made herself a promise. Whatever she chose, it would be because it was right for her, not because it was expected or comfortable or safe. The rest of the story, Maya decided, was hers to write. What would you do if you were in Maya's place? Would you give your ex a second chance after such a heartfelt confession, or would you take a risk on something new with someone who sees you for who you are now? Have you ever been in a situation where your past and your future collided like this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear what choice you would make and why. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more emotional, heartfelt stories that explore the complicated beauty of love and second chances.